Hello everyone and a very warm welcome. Welcome to Empower Fantastic Life. Find your power, live without limits.
We often look at people who can just walk into a room and connect with anyone, and we think, wow, they must have been born with that. But what if I told you that charisma, that ability to connect, isn't some rare gift? What if it's a skill that just like any other can be learned, practiced, and mastered? Today, we're going to open up a consultant's playbook and dive into the simple, powerful rules that unlock human connection.
So let's get right into it. It all starts with pillar number 1, masterful connection. This is all about laying a rock-solid foundation for any relationship. And believe it or not, it all happens within the first 4 minutes of meeting someone.
This quote really sets the stage, doesn't it? Just take a second to think about that. Every great friendship, every successful project at work, even a happy family life, it all comes down to how well we communicate. It is, without a doubt, the one skill that shapes our entire reality.
Okay, so here's something fascinating. The 4-minute rule. Studies show that within just the first 4 minutes of an interaction, people form a pretty lasting impression of you. It's kind of like the movie trailer for you. If that trailer is compelling and engaging, they're going to want to stick around for the whole movie. But if it's not, they've pretty much made up their mind. Those first 240 seconds are your golden opportunity to build trust.
So how do you make that 4-minute trailer a blockbuster? Well, the secret is surprisingly simple. You have to shift the spotlight off of yourself. Instead of trying to be the most interesting person in the room, focus on being the most interested. Ask about their experiences, give them a genuine compliment, something like, wow, that's a really insightful way to look at that. A sincere compliment is the fastest way to build a bridge between two people. And of course, use their name. It's the sweetest sound to a person's ears, and it sends a clear message, you matter to me.
All right, moving on to our second pillar, effortless guidance. Now that you've built that initial connection, how do you steer a conversation or lead a team without sounding bossy or creating resistance? The key is a fundamental shift from telling people what to do to asking them.
This slide just lays it out so perfectly. You've got two styles. The director barks orders, you need to do this. It immediately puts people on the defensive. But the guide invites collaboration. What do you think is our best first step here? Imagine you're a manager. Saying, this report is full of mistakes is just going to create resentment. But what if you asked, this is a great start. How could we make this data even more powerful for the client? See the difference? One creates a fight, the other creates a partner.
And here is the absolute core of it. People are always, and I mean always, more committed to an idea that they believe they came up with themselves. Your job isn't to have all the answers. Your job is to be a sort of conversational detective, asking just the right questions to help them connect the dots. They arrive at the solution feeling brilliant, and you get exactly where you wanted to go, together.
This is also about the very words you choose to use every day. Complaining about a problem just sucks the energy out of a room. So instead of saying, this project is impossible, try reframing it. Okay, what would it take to make this possible? It's a subtle linguistic shift, but it completely changes the dynamic. Your words don't just describe your reality, they actively create it.
Now for our final pillar, and this is where things get really interesting. We're talking about subtle influence. This is the stuff that's never said out loud, but often has the biggest impact of all.
You can think of your body language as a secret, universal code. When you speak with your palms open and facing up, you're non-verbally signaling, hey, I have nothing to hide. I'm being open with you. If you subtly mirror the posture of the person you're talking to, they lean in, you create this subconscious feeling of, we're in sync, we're on the same team. These aren't manipulative tricks. They're just ways to make sure your body is saying the same positive thing as your words.
And speaking of nonverbal cues, this is brilliant. The physical space between you and another person matters a lot. When you sit directly across a table from someone, you're literally creating a barrier. It's a you versus me setup. But just by moving your chair so you're sitting beside them or at a 90-degree angle, you completely change the dynamic. It immediately becomes us looking at the problem together. It's one of the simplest ways to turn a potential confrontation into a collaboration.
Giving feedback is probably one of the most delicate communication challenges we face. This 3-step method is a lifesaver because it focuses on correcting the action without ever criticizing the person. For example, John, your creativity on this project has been fantastic. Let's chat for a moment about the timeline, just to make sure we're on track for our deadline. I know you're completely dedicated to this, and I'm here to help in any way I can. You see, you addressed the problem directly, but you wrapped it in genuine praise and support. You fixed the issue and keep the relationship strong. So, we've walked through our 3 core pillars: masterful connection, effortless guidance, and subtle influence. But knowing this stuff is one thing. The real magic happens when you actually put it into practice.
And please remember, these 3 pillars aren't just a random collection of tips. They're a complete system that works together. Connection opens the door. Guidance helps you walk through it together. And influence builds the lasting trust that keeps that door open.
So I'll leave you with a challenge this week. Think about one important conversation you know is coming up. Maybe it's with a colleague, your partner, or even your child. In that one conversation, can you deliberately shift from being a director to being a guide? Instead of telling, try asking. And then just notice what happens. You might just be amazed at the results. You've been listening to Empower Fantastic Life Yager Empowerment Academy. See you next time. Bye-bye.